Back to the warm-up, brought to you by Ford. Let's take a look at this comparison. The Greek Freak versus Yickity.
Spicy P.
This season, I mean, the numbers look real. Field goal percentage, though, Giannis well over 50. Rebounding, advantage Giannis. Assists, also advantage Giannis. But Pascal Siakam has been very consistent this season.
Yeah, this has been a big-time jump in Pascal Siakam's game. And part of the reason why Toronto is playing so well this season, he has made one of the biggest jumps, I think, in NBA history. When you look at the fact, a couple of seasons ago, this guy was in the G League.
Yeah.
He went from being in the G League to being a rotational player to being a key component of a championship team to being the man. And you normally don't see guys grow that quickly. I knew Pascal Siakam could play. I was waiting to see, could he be the guy? Could he be the guy to lead a team? I got my answer early on in this season, and the answer was an emphatic yes. Pascal Siakam's been playing great. This team in Toronto is playing great. There's a swagger about them, a confidence. I went to see their training camp, and you could just tell that they believe that even though Kawhi Leonard wasn't there, they were still going to be able to do a lot of incredible things this year. They have. I think they've been one of the biggest shocks and the best stories in the NBA. This team's ahead of the pace they were on last year.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing you got to credit Pascal for, and you've been there, B, everything starts at the top.
Yes.
So right now, he's owned being the team's best player, and it's not just on the offensive end. Defensively, he absolutely gets after it. He's got a high motor. He shows up to play each and every night. And I go back to last year's playoffs against Milwaukee. Now, he wasn't quite the player he is now, and Brendan, you talked about his improvement, but he got valuable minutes playing with Kawhi Leonard, seeing him in practice, seeing how he works, how he approaches games, and then competing against Giannis Antetokounmpo, our last year's MVP. So he's right on pace. This is, I don't want to say big brother, little brother, but he's a little more of a nemesis now, and he's going to go out and compete against Giannis. I mean, B, he had a couple plays where he went upstairs and got big rebounds over Giannis, scored over him. So there's no fear from Pascal Siakam, and he's arguably maybe the second best equipped to guard him in the Eastern Conference now.
I definitely agree with that. I definitely agree with that statement.
They've won 17 of 19, the Toronto Raptors have. They've got a fight ahead of them tonight in the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks have only lost 8 games this entire season. But here's something that might be an advantage for Toronto. It's their second out of a back-to-back for the Bucks, third game in 4 days.
Right.
Last game, Giannis fouled out. Does that factor into this game tonight?
I don't think the fouling out factors in. I think maybe the fact that they're coming off of a back-to-back factors in the 3 games within 4 days. Sometimes your legs can be a little bit heavy. But I also look at this Toronto team. I look at what Nick Nurse did last year as far as scheming. He's one of the better coaches in this league that doesn't get the credit. I think he should be the coach of the year this year. I think they're going to have a game plan for Giannis. I think they're going to build the wall. They're going to double him with length at times. When I watched that playoff series last year, Giannis did not respond well to double teams with length. When he was double teamed with guys like with Serge Ibaka and those tall guys
versus
came
a guard,
down,
right?
Opposed to a guard, those passes that he threw to the opposite side of the court were hang time passes that allowed the defense to get there. So I want to see what Giannis is going to do tonight. It's going to be a very interesting matchup. But this Toronto team, like you said, has no fear. They have confidence. They believe that they match up very well with the Milwaukee Bucks.
You know, it's interesting. We got to keep looking back to that playoff series. He didn't show his cards early in games 1, 2, or 3 against Giannis. Kawhi Leonard didn't guard him until later on in the series. So I have to expect that tonight. Coach Nick Nurse is saying, we're going to see you guys down the line. I'm not showing my hand, so you may see different defenders. Spicy P may not guard Giannis at all and say, well, let's see this matchup later on down the line. So I'm intrigued to see how it works. But the one thing I love about Toronto, they compete. And you brought it up earlier. Their length is different. These aren't going to be guards double teaming, but they're just as big, just as athletic. And also, look at this note, too. The top teams in the NBA, while everybody's getting younger, everybody's, rebuilding, three-point shooting, these are teams with size and veteran leadership. Toronto, Milwaukee, the Lakers, big teams, size, athletic. The Nuggets got good size. So, it's kind of winning out in an era, so to speak, of small ball, B.
Yeah, listen, they say it's a small ball era, but there's still some good things that can happen when you got some tall guys out there.
Got some 7-footers on stage.
Hey, man, you know what we were going to do out here. We're going to big it up for the big men.
The centerpiece right here. Okay, Chris Middleton for the Bucks. He's been an excellent number 2. I'm not even going to call him a sidekick because he's been playing well ahead of sidekick level. Coming off of a 40-point game, can he sustain this high level of play into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think he can, just because he's very efficient, and you look at the type of shots he gets. Middleton isn't forcing up bad shots. He's getting his shots within the flow of the offense. Giannis creates a problem. He's able to get his shots off of double teams. At the same time, he gets shots in transition. This team is excellent in transition, and they play great team basketball. Every once in a while, he takes it upon himself to go out there and get it himself, but I think Middleton can keep this up because when you look at a guy that scores as well as he does, they take a couple of bad shots every now and then. That's not really what he does. He shoots such a high efficiency number simply because he understands how to play basketball and where the good shots are. This guy doesn't hunt shots.
B, I couldn't agree more. When I think of Chris Middleton, I think of Zach Randolph in this stance. Not only is he efficient, he's efficient because he can score in small spaces. Normally, some guys need to be wide open from three or in a show and go type of situation. He can bump off a guard from that mid post, turn and fade away, and he's going to hit that shot 8, if not 9 out of 10 times. So the way he knows how to use that big frame, he's all a 6'7", 6'8", playing the wing, running the wing, and can pull up and shoot a deep three. He's comfortable scoring in spaces and over guards. So that's why you love Middleton. And he's also a guy, B, if he don't get his shots early, he's still efficient. Yeah. His number is ready to be called, so you have to love what he's bringing to the table in limited touches or limited opportunities, so to speak, because they're going to play through Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Well, Chris Middleton is turning himself into a 50-40-90 guy this season, very quietly. The warm-up will continue as we give you a nice look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Shay.
SGA.
Taking on the Bulls tonight, coming off of a game where they had 8 players score 10 or more, the Thunder, led by this guy. 22 points for him. Hey there, welcome to the warm-up, brought to you by Ford. I'm Stephanie Reddy. We've got Ryan Hollins in the building, 10-year NBA vet, and Brendan Haywood,
hey,
NBA champion.
Glad to be here.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, good.
I like how you coming in with it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're thrilled you're here with us. We've got a doubleheader on TNT tonight, but we've got 7 games across the association, and we also have some news to report for you all. Good news for the Golden State Warriors. Stephen Curry is set to return to action on Sunday. That game is against the Washington Wizards, so we're expecting big numbers out of Steph Curry. His wrist looking good. LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. He's been playing, MVP-like this season, leads the league in assists. His Lakers host the Pelicans tonight. First time he'll see Zion Williamson face-to-face. Speaking of Zion Williamson, the rookie has been extraordinary. Small sample size, but it looks really, really good. And in fact, earlier today, he stopped to talk to reporters.
Honestly, we ask those questions after the game. I think my main focus right now is just trying to help my team get a win. I'll tell you, with Brian and all those other great players, man, we growing up after.
The players, a lot of you guys have talked a ton lately about the unselfishness of the team. How much fun has it been to just see everybody kind of embrace that and, be up there in 35, 40 assists every game lately?
It's great. It definitely shows that we're moving the ball. Everybody's unselfish, and I think it makes us a better team.
You and the starters, you guys are pitching on out tonight. You, PI, you guys played 10 games together. What have you just thought about the impressions going on alongside those guys?
My impressions are great. Drew can snap at any time. BI can snap at any time. Fave is just so consistent. You got to respect it. And then I think we started off a little shaky trying to figure out each other, but I think we're just picking it up, and especially on the defensive end, I think we really improved there.
What's the biggest thing you've learned about yourself this season? It could be either off the court or on the court.
I think definitely time management, learning how to take care of my body and, get the necessary rest.
Are there any guys that you reached out to for support or any advice?
No, I really haven't reached out, to be honest. It's just kind of those things where I talk to them after the game or something, and they'll give me their 2 cents, and I take in all the information I can get. And the Pelicans staff has really helped me a lot with that as well.
Went up against Anthony Davis tonight. Yeah, nice game here with some matchup pretty defensively. One guy kind of giving you problems so far. That you can kind of maybe change something up going against a longer guy like that.
Against a great player like that, you got to bring different things to the table because they pick up on things fast. And he's a great player. I can't bring the same thing every time. Just got to have different attack modes, knowing how to attack him, when to attack him, and when not to. So I think it's just learning as the game goes on and just talking to my best.
Zion, since you first played your first game in the NBA, what's the experience been like on the court for you?
The experience has been great. I missed the first half of the season, but I mean, to finally get out there, just be with my teammates, it's been great.